as will happen with cars that sit for a while, you just can't take these things out much anymore. Everybody's just crazy. So I just go around. I got a couple of little safe roads I go around here, but I was gonna take her out the other day and I couldn't because the rear wheels the brakes are binding, and I brought the FLIR out. Just pretend you're looking at the FLIR, and these were like 80 degrees and these were like 163 or something, I think, and they were both that way. Both rear wheels were like that. This is four-wheel drum. This is mostly all original, so nobody's ever put an Austin Healey 3000 front end in it, and this actually has cotter pins. It's not those things that split. That's a split pin. If you ever look up the front end of these, you actually what a cotter pin is. My guess is it's the handbrake mechanism. There's a fair amount of literature on this, and this does have power brakes because I put it in, and they do hear that click, and that was the vacuum booster still holding vacuum from yesterday. So what we got here is I think it just might need a spring, but I'm not sure of that. Gotta be careful going too high. I think I'll just scoot around on my chair. So we're gonna just leave that all the way down, and then don't ever pull on the steering wheel when you're getting out of these old cars. So we're gonna take her up and take a look at that. I got the wheel chocks on it. I'm gonna chock the bejesus out of it just to make sure we don't have any trouble. This is one of my very special girls here. So I want to make sure she's completely safe. Let's go up underneath her. Okay, it's been about an hour. I changed the brake fluid in the Master because I just felt like I should. You gotta see where it is. It's a TR4 system. There's no use showing you that because it's what I had to do. This has got that tandem bowl with a little thing in the middle for the clutch and the. Let me just show you what I had to do. I could not get this system to work correctly in the beginning. I went through all grades of heck. I couldn't get good wheel cylinders back then. I'll just show you. So the master cylinder is underneath this air cleaner. Let me show you where you are here. Right on the the left side of the motor. It's a TR4 cylinder. It's supposed to be a cylinder without a cap. You can't see it. There's the cap. See the cap? This white thing right here, that white cover. So the only way to get to that is take this air cleaner off. It's not too hard, but it is sort of challenging. So she's in gear. But anyway, these old cars, they shared a fluid cylinder. Boy, that's kind of gnarly, isn't it? Okay. See that there's a middle part down in there. Got brake fluid on me, never good. There's a middle cylinder, and that looks pretty clean. And that is for the clutch, and the outer part is for the brakes. But in this case, it's just got the one tube going to it, and it's just dead-ended on the other end. So, well, it looks pretty clean down in there. I'm okay with that. So that had a little bit of crud in it. It was a little low, the one under the air cleaner, and okay. Anyway, I took care of that. So let's go. I'll just keep you on. All right. I know she's dirty. I don't care. Clean her up, she'll just get dirty again. Okay, so we're all chocked everywhere, and I feel like the wheels, these little cars are kind of tricky to get on a lift. Okay, what's going up then? This is the green subscribe button. I held on the pedal too. The reservoir was a little bit low, so I thought, well, maybe she's leaking somewhere, but I don't think so. The brakes on this thing are so tricky. because of the power brake system and all. They kind of stick a little bit. Well, we're going to find out here in a second. 90 pounds, see? It's a mighty lift. Alright, let's see what we got here. We got a bunch of spider webs. Oh, it's just that time of year. Halloween was just the other day. Oh, look at that. Let me burn some of that out of there. Woo. Nothing like the smell of burnt spiders in the morning. There's one, there's a great big one. There you go. See you, Pa. Spider eggs and everything. Gotta go. It was postmarked Arkansas. Well, you can see the brake booster right there. So I had to go up one more step on this car. It's so low. So if you've never been under an Austin Healey 106 or 3000, let's check that brake fluid leak. Ooh, those bushings are shot. Let's see about them. Okay, make a note. Okay, got caps on them. See the things where you won't be able to see them, but in here are actual cotter pins. Okay, enough of that. Okay. All right, I don't see anything leaking or anything at the bottom of those things. So there's the big overdrive unit. They always seem to always leak. So there's nothing wrong with the bottom of that. It's not wet. And let's go there, and there's a steel flexible tubing, and there's the grease point. Now we're talking about this is the emergency brake cable. Can you even get to the flipping thing? It's right there. It's pretty clean under here, actually. There's the big SU pump. So, I don't know why. I'm going to need both hands. Don't see anything leaking here. All those rubber things pop out all the time. So, let me, I guess I'll just shoot a bunch of grease in this thing. And hopefully that'll free it up. And just like an MG and all that other stuff. Well, I don't see anything down here except spider eggs. Dadgum them, I'll get them. And I'm looking at that one. It looks like it's all the way home. Might just be pulling these wheels off. Won't be able to do that today. Well, let's get our jack under here. It's like it's been jacked on a couple of times. And if I can get it under here, it's so low, and bring up these back wheels, and then oh, I gotta get okay. Let's get them spider eggs. They're everywhere under here. Yuck. Okay, well, oh, well, she's jacked up. Well, that's okay. It's fine. So I had to throw her out of gear. I jacked her up, got this wheel off the ground a little bit, and she's just flat dang frozen. I couldn't get my pneumatic double jack over here. There's just no way. It's just too narrow. So you can see daylight through there. And everything's off. Everything's greased. And that thing's got really no pressure on it. Yeah, I got greasy. I greased everything. Maybe if oh. Well, I guess that's off. Interesting. I guess a long time ago I forgot to tighten this one up. Maybe that's some of my problem. I don't know. Alright, well, at least I saw that. But that doesn't really account for, that means you gotta, I don't think that would have moved much, because this, I just don't think that would have done that. And there's a lot of slop in the handle, so I don't think that's it. And when you adjust these things, you want a little slop in the beginning. You don't want it to be super hard right off, so you can kind of get a little mow going, a little momentum. Oh, what was I going to look for? Yeah, I kind of remember I was going to look for that lightning strike thing I told y'all about. So anyway, see that big cable right here? That's a battery cable. And I must have cleaned it up because there's some old interior stuff. Those are the back seats that you're looking at there with the vinyl hanging down. Yeah, I kind of, boy, stuff's kind of got to get new rubber parts. Yeah, there was a big hit down here where that cable blew. I must have cleaned it up and painted over or something. I do remember I was shocked at how that is. And speaking of shock, the shocks look good. They're not leaking. That's good. I think I'm going to pull that wheel off. But yeah, I jacked her up to, there's the brake adjuster. And the front ones are a little different. This one's harder to get to because of the exhaust system in the way. Well, let's get those. What do you I think those are a quarter. I can't remember. I might even have a socket that fits those. I don't know. All right. Well, anyway. So I pulled the pin out of the adjuster cable. So that's just totally disconnected now. And so they're completely off. And the wheel's still not moving, so my guess is it's just an adjustment problem. I don't know why. Like I say, I don't think it's brake fluid in there. Could just be I had them too dang tight. So it's a 5/16. I didn't have a square key 5/16. Only went down to 7/16. So let's go right there. See it sticking out right here. And the two bolts on both sides. And we're going to see if we can get this thing to move. I mean, I got everything totally disconnected and it ain't moving. Amazing. And I know the hydraulics are okay. I know the front ones weren't hot at all, so I'm just trying to think my way through here. Okay, what fun. Having fun yet? Boy, I am. I've tried about everything and it's just frozen. Beat it with a hammer and all kinds of things. Okay. The thing about these cars is the tires are very finicky about their size. See what I mean? I actually have some spacers, but I have sort of elected not to do that. Maybe I should. I don't know. Just don't like the idea of it. Okay, well, let's get these out of here and see if I can get these drums to pull off. Fascinating problem. I drove this thing here. It was like 20-something miles. I didn't have any trouble, so I don't understand what's going on. We're going to understand in just a minute, though. Okay, so I got the little screws out of there, and she's just tight. I don't know. I don't get it. Let's see if I can. I'm going to go in there now. Don't know what else I can do. God, it's just. Well, there's one ringy dingy. Cause that'd just be all it is. They just got. Well, let's give it another one back there on that adjuster I showed you earlier. Well, I don't know what I'm gonna find in here that's gonna. Well, I'll give her some more. What, did they just get pregnant or something? The linings? I don't know. Those key things are always tricky. Well, here we go. You ready? Let's beautiful in there. I don't mean I ain't gonna get some brake cleaned, but I guess they were just tight. I don't know. I don't get it. Well, they look like they're wearing evenly too. Well, let's go get some brake clean. Don't like doing that with a camera about, so I'm going to take that off. But there's some brake dust in there. I guess that's all it was. Amazing. Okay, well, I got this kind. I think it's better to stay back a little bit. Okay, well, don't see that much of a problem there. I mean, they're just clean as they can be. Well, a little rusty. This stuff's cutting the rust even. That's pretty good. Well, see that gunk coming out of there? Alright, well, let's put it back together and maybe not adjust it so tight. I don't know. I really don't get what's going on. Everything looks even. So, I really don't understand, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. Look what I got up there. Let's get them. Not with the brake clean around though. No, torches would brake clean that. Let's let this dry out some first. Okay, they're cleaned and wiped out. I just got the brake clean and sprayed the spiders. That seemed to be a little bit more safer. So it's the gas tank's right there now. Okay, so all cleaned up, and you got to put them on so the screws go back on. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave them like that. I was looking at the wrong ones. Silly me. They go, and you see they're offset. These are high, and so I don't know. Okay, well, we're just going to put them back on like that. And looking at all that rubbing up there sort of upset me, so I went up in the attic and I put my hand to these. I got these, those at a place called, I won't tell you what it is, but I ain't gonna go there anymore. They're just kind of jerks. And in this day and age, if you got a brick and mortar place and you got other options, I wouldn't be a jerk. See, that just don't thrill me. Unless you glued them on there or something. Nah. We're not going to put them on. Every time I start to think about using those, that's just a little bit too messy for me. Okay. Okay, well, I tell you what. I'm just like I say. I took it off 3 turns. Oh, I didn't show that, but... Oh, let me show you that. Okay, I kind of meant to. It'll take a second. And, so the way these adjusters work, they have like a conical. Earlier MG stuff, they have like a little, looks like a snail thing. But these are a little bit more modern. The adjuster's right here. Am I in frame and all this stuff? Well, you can see enough. There's, if you want to look it up, you can. So there's 2 pins in here. The Spitfire rear wheels and the TR4 wheels work the same way. But there's that threaded pin that I showed you earlier, and it's notched on 4 sides, and it forces these 2 pins out or lets them back in. And let's look at the springs. The springs look fine. There's only 2 springs on these. So, okay. And no evidence of any leaks. Okay, so let's put this back on. So, pretty simple system. I know y'all can look up anything you want to. You don't need me to tell you about it. But, just thought you'd want to see it. Moog. It's something to do with one of the financiers, that Moog thing you see. And Lord somebody and whatever it was, the foundry thing and chipping that. These actually have cooling grooves. I think I'm going to take you out of here. So let's see if I can See, the adjuster thing is, put my finger to it, is that thing right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. I can't even see it through the camera. But these have, sorry about all the light in your eyes there. These actually have cooling fins. So pretty neat stuff. Okay. Well, I gotta go look at the torque spec and all that. So, anyway. All right, let's move to the other side, I suppose. Take a look at the shackles. I rebuilt all these shackles. And you can tell I've been up in here, so. Okay. Alright, well I gotta go in, so I'm going to let her down. I'm not gonna even go back under and all that other stuff, but I guess the moral of the story is brakes can be like your grandmother. She's just sitting there, all of a sudden she gets tight. I know mine did. Okay, just for fun, I brought out the old Austin Healey book here to show you something. See that pin right there? It's got a little divot in it. It's got a little thing on the end of it, a little bit of a taper. And that's part number 24. And that's called a bush cotter. Okay? Cotter pin. Now you see this right here? Does that look familiar to you? Got all kinds of stuff on the screen for some reason. That, my friends, is called, you know what it looks like? It goes up and around and back down, goes through, and you spread it out. Part number 43. That is called a split pin. Consarn it. It's the next day. I'm going to finish this up today. You'll see odd things on cars, European cars that come in right and left-handed drive. One of the things that you'll see here in the frame right behind the right rear wheel is that little carve out right here. What's that for? Well, it's for the exhaust if it's on that other side. They sometimes they'll put different engines and things and stuff, and it just kind of ends up with these weird, odd little bits. Now I'm going to tell you about when it comes to the Jaguar. You don't know about the Jaguar, the book ain't going to help you much. This car's a little bit like that. You will find that we'll talk about torque specs in a minute, and I'm going to do all this, and I'll show you how you got to look stuff up sometime in the books. The book on this car is mediocre at best. They expected these cars to last 5 to 10 years, you know, so they didn't go to a lot of trouble on things. So yeah, I got to go through and clean this up. So we're going to back her out here in a little bit too. I put some diodes on the alternator wire too. So I got to make sure I put them on the right way. I generally do, but just wanted to make sure. So this wheel is also frozen up, and I know we're out of gear and it breaks down. Just want to double check. It's been a day or two, so I just kind of got to get my bearings back. Don't think I'm going to need that for a while. Okay, let's get this wheel off of here. Now these are very rare wheels because they're disc wheels. You don't see too many disc wheels on big Healeys. Okay, so I got my 5/16 square and took her back a couple of notches, and she seems to be okay. Let's I'm not going to use the tripod. It's just a lot of trouble, and this ain't going to take too long. Okay, well, okay. Let's take a look in this one. And it don't look as clean. I think that one was dragging a little bit more. So, alright, well, let's clean these off. And, so, alright. Okay, da-da-da. Coming off dirty, so let's use this one up because this one's got less in it. All right, let that dry itself out, and then we'll get this cloth right here. We do not have rags in my shop. We use cloth. Some of y'all might wonder where that comes from, but believe it or not, for a very brief period, I worked at McDonald's. My personality didn't go too well there. But there was some guy that worked at the local college, and he was a food expert. He had been to, what they call that thing, Hamburger U, and he would go around and correct everybody's. If you said rag at McDonald's, he said, no, that's a cloth. We do not say rags at McDonald's. So anyway. So that's where that comes from, if you're wondering. And I agreed with him most of the time. I mean, he was one of the better people there. Okay, so let's put this down, and I've got to hook up the handbrake. That's a good idea to have the emergency brake hooked up. All right, now I'll tell you something interesting too about these cars. Some of you may not know it, but the front brakes on, you'll see this on old Metros, old British cars, they have 2 cylinders, and the adjuster is a different kind of adjuster, adjust up and with a nut on the back side to hold, kind of hold different, not hold different, but a lot different. So they get more braking force up front, and it's more even because you got 2 cylinders. Jaguars like that too. You got to have what they call a bridge pipe. So okay, let's put this back together, and I'll quit talking, at least for now. All right, so we're ready to do the torquing on the thing. I've been cleaning up and everything. Let me just take a picture of this. The little pin was hard to get in the handbrake system, but I did it. All right, so it's right there with its little split pin in there, and all this is tightened up and greasy, and so I don't think there's anything else down there I need to worry about. Now, you might wonder what these big long tubes are about. Well, I ain't gonna tell you. So anyways, let's just say my carburetors don't get choked up. All right. So let's go around and get back over here and get the torque nuts going. I'll go ahead and tell you what they are on this car. Look up all your individual torque specs. This is purely for entertainment. 60 to 62.5 pound-feet and no more. They say do not over tighten these, because if you do, you'll warp the hubs or drums or something. So just go, I'll probably go to 50 all the way around and then come back around to do it to 62 or something like that. But you'll see it in the book here in just a minute. About ready to drop her down, says she'll start, and it's just brakes are like, because I got to tell you, it was practically, if you put your foot on the clutch, the thing practically would stop. So I don't know what happened. I'm still amazed by this, but these things, part of it. I guess these things happen to me. I'm up at the front of the car here, and I was going to look at the date codes, kind of for fun. They're not cracked or anything. They're not excessively worn. But once again, I got tires from Europe or something, and they don't got no date codes. Okay. So I think I said it, but I'm doing all 4 wheels. That's whenever you do, you might as well just do them all. Actual clicks. Don't laugh too hard. It does kind of keep the birds out. So let's power her up, and we'll walk around and we'll check on the handbrake action. Just see what it's like. Give you something to look at whilst I'm raising it up here. Okay. So I'm going to leave her up because I've got to check on this thing. But there's my little double diode thing. And so, all right. So we're going to listen for the clickety clackety of the joyful SU pump. I've already kind of played with the handle a little bit there. Let's see, there's the key for the Healey. Yep, there she is. I doubt that she's going. Okay, let's see what this is like. Put the key where it belongs. Yeah, I think that's good. Like I said, you kind of want it to have a little bit of free play. And I would have more. I don't think my armrest I built's getting in my way. Yeah, see, I built this. I built that one in the TR4 too. And I built the one in Brent's TR4. Let's just leave that on. Okay. All right, let me get her started. Hang on. All right, here we go. And let's see if the red light will go out. Let's let it warm up a little bit more. Okay, good. So my diodes are in correctly. So let's let her warm up some. At least get her up to about 160. I gotta go up there and see. I feel certain that it's charging, but I said I would, so she's gonna have to warm up because she's not gonna idle. I gotta keep my foot on her right here. And the choke in this vehicle doesn't lock. So, which is good. I don't mind that because you don't forget that it's on, especially when it's way under the dash like that. Oh, am I gonna make it? Okay, yeah. All right, it looks to me, I don't know if I can do this thing. It looks to me like 13, 14 volts. That's good enough, especially at such a low idle. Let's go and see what the brakes are like. I think she'll idle now. Okay, door's up high enough. Handbrake is off. We're not exactly warmed up much yet. It sure takes her a while, don't it? Well, let's take her on out and we'll just check on the brakes. Okay, all seems to be okay. Oh, the brake's fine. Look back over the croquet balls. Alright. I can tell you now she's better because you take her out of gear and she's rolling right along. Alright, so let's get her going and try the handbrake. You can start these cars in a second. They're geared low. Okay, so there's that, and then there's this. Hear the tires catching. Well, there you go. She's affixed. Let's take her for a little road trip in a minute. I gotta do a few other things. I think I'm gonna stick a couple gallons of gas in her. And let's try the brakes. Foot brakes, because yeah, their power brake's okay. Yeah, now she's right. All right, okay. I've got both Austin Healey books, but they're the same, exactly the same book. I got this little book here. It's kind of neat. Kenneth Ball. We've all read his stuff, haven't we? The funny thing about these things is we're going to look at, you know, where wheels and tires are. It's under, oh, isn't that funny? But if you go to, there's pictures of them and everything. If you go to torque specs, and I've converted everything, you'll see that it doesn't say anything about wheels and tires. It's not really a very comprehensive M-N-O N-N-N. Come on. There it is. Alright, now, of course, none of this tire stuff applies anymore. So, oh, some big bug crawling across there. Let's just do it like this. Very simple wiring in these things. So, come on. There it is. Now, when you get to O, you'll find right here adjustments in the vehicle. And this is if you got your wire wheels every 50 miles, you know, short runs, jack up, hammer them on tight. But here's where your torque spec is for the wheels like you just saw in this video. And it's 60 to 62.5 pound-feet. Do not over tighten. So anyway, there you go. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Let's go finish this stuff up. My last footage on the Healey there got corrupted somehow. We're not going to go look at her anymore, but I drove her around. I've done so many drive around things, I just kind of want to tell you what happened. Big contrail up there. Pretty sunset. My beautiful pond project. But it performed great. I took her up to about 55, 60. Put the overdrive in and hit the brakes kind of hard, and there's no pull. And so I wasn't expecting that, but I wanted to check it. And with those power brakes in that thing, I might need to put some kind of restrictor on that, kind of lessen those. I think they make those as, like in radio control. Like if you have that air-powered gear that makes it, the gear slams up. They put those restrictors on there to lessen the airflow, and it looks a little bit more natural. So I was thinking about that, mentioned that. But right now we're going to the mailbox, and I'll just kind of wrap this up. I'm going to walk around the back of the barn. I parked the Healey back there for about an hour or two while I did some cleaning in the barn, and I'm going to see if there's any spots. But okay, we'll sign off on that one. Won't be but a few more seconds. My gates look pretty good. Getting chilly. Okay, had a minor paper cut today. See that? Be sure and give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It's just chilly. So she was parked here for a good long time, and there's not a drop of anything. So that's good enough. All right. Got a little bonfire brewing over here. It's gonna have to rain a whole lot. Get cooler. I'm gonna need to get me some gravel, and then rent some equipment. Get rid of the Windhaven Mountain back there, or molehills more like it. All right, thanks a lot for watching, sharing time with me. It's like north by northwest here. You could land an airplane. I've never seen a crop duster out here. I've seen them out west a couple of times. Don't guess they don't do that around here, or don't do it anymore. I don't know. Okay, bye-bye. I got to work on these steps. That's going to be a future video, and I got an interesting tiki torch powder coating base video coming up too. So that's coming attractions. Bye-bye.